Hello everyone, this is Esther Camacho with the McAllen Public Library. And today we're going to go over finding clues in obituaries. So what information can an obituary provide? It can provide the name of an individual, that's usually a given. The age, sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. The date and place of birth and death. A summary of the deceased's life, which is actually very beneficial, so that way when you build your family history, you can at least include that information about the deceased. The names of parents, spouses, and other relatives. Perhaps church and lodge membership. And of course the undertaker or the funeral home information. Now that's real good to know, because if you are looking for more information, you can actually go to the funeral home and ask for the funeral home record of that individual. I did that for one individual, and they told me who paid for it, how much it cost, when the service happened, and actually clipped to that record was a copy of the obituary. And apparently someone had given it to them, so they attached it. And that was before I found the obituary, so sometimes you can end up with those types of surprises. Now let's read a 1965 obituary. This is for Jose F. Gonzalez, and I'm going to break it down into three different parts. The first part actually talks about him, that he's 80 years old, and it gives his age and his address and the funeral information and his burial information. The next paragraph, or the third paragraph, it's very short. That is his personal information, and at least we can pull some things out of that. And lastly, it is the survivors include. This is the family information. Now, of course, with all obituaries, you're going to need to verify that information. So what we're going to do, we're going to dissect this obituary into three different parts. So we're going to look at the very beginning. And immediately it says he's 80 years old. So you just go to 1965, subtract 80 to get a general idea of when he was born. Now, of course, you'll have to do a range, like 5 years before, 5 years after that date, to try to find the actual date. Now we have his street address. And with that, you can do a Google search for that address and know where his address is. Now we can look at it differently in Google and actually see a house there. I don't know if that's the actual house that was his, but at least you'll have an idea of where he lived. And we know what church that he went to. He went to St. Joseph Catholic Church for his funeral service. And we have his burial location at Rose Hill Cemetery. And again, you can Google map this and have the location. On the second part, it is real small. This is just a summary of his life. It said he was a native of San Diego. Now, we're not talking about San Diego, California. We're talking about San Diego, Texas. And again, we can Google this and have it on our map where that town is located. Then it states that he was a resident of Nueces County for 46 years. Again, subtracted from the 1965, and you get when he was a resident in Nueces County. Not necessarily Corpus Christi, but somewhere in Nueces County since 1919. And we have a clue to his cause of death, and it's stated that he died after a short illness. Now we know it wasn't something lingering. It could be anything from a heart attack to a stroke, or he just got sick and just did not make it. And it also states that he was just a retired laborer. So we're going to look at the survivors on this one. This is the last portion. This is the most lengthy part on his family. And the first part includes his wife Fabiana, 2 sons, and the next portion says 2 stepsons, Juan Camacho and Domingo Camacho, and then it talks about his daughters. He had a total of 4 daughters, and one of them is Guadalupe Salinas, the other one is Santos de la Cruz, and then Miss Dora and Graciela Gonzalez. Those 2 are unmarried at this time. They're all from Dallas, and it includes a stepdaughter, Mrs. Maria Lopez, and then at the end we have 33 grandchildren and 32 great-grandchildren. So we know by looking at the 2 stepsons that Fabiana had a marriage before him. So those are from her first husband. And that includes the stepdaughter, that Maria Lopez at the end. Those are the stepchildren from her first husband. And then Jose Gonzalez, also had a first wife, and they had children. So this kind of is confusing because it shows that it includes his wife Fabiana and 2 sons, but actually Jose F. Gonzalez Jr. was from his first wife, and Guadalupe Salinas was also from the first wife. And when it comes to the grandchildren, well, then you're going to have to sort that out by using a family group sheet and doing it for all the surviving children, and then that way you can sort out grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So remember, research the information in the obituary very, very carefully. It can be deceiving at times, unless you know the family. Like I happened to know that one. I knew that they both had a first spouse before their marriage, so I knew some of the children were from other marriages. So thanks for watching. I hope that helped, and I hope to see you soon on the next episode. Don't forget to add a comment below and like us on Facebook. See you soon.